because she is an entrepreneur as well.
I used to love Bethany, but I follow her on TikTok, and I'm going to be perfectly honest. Like,
She's like a little like I think she did some MTV interstitial stuff.
oh, Lene Dunn. You know how
Yeah.
huge Lene is on? Do you know how many followers? She has like 30 million followers on Instagram.
No, but I assume so. I
Yeah,
totally could see that. Yeah.
it's so crazy. Like everybody who studied with me, like the really great, like went to the boot camp, went to ongoing classes. All of them are either in production, producing, behind the camera, like, or in front of the camera. I mean, it's like, remember Marcy?
Oh yeah, she's my favorite.
I love Marcy. She's one
Guevara,
of
yeah.
the producers on Beyond the Villa, who hired me to coach those two guys from Olivia and Kendall from Love Island. My point is, and we were talking about this. She was like,
wait. Marcy, your old staff is now producing. It's a show you love, Love Island.
Well, she's producing Beyond the Villa, which is
like an after show.
Yeah, it's a spin-off, not an after show.
Oh, okay. But they brought you in, and she's the one who was instrumental. Oh, wow, that's cool. I like that.
So
yeah, relationships.
Marcy and I were talking about how she was like, Marki, everybody in my class was so successful. Just like you said, you had so many successful people you saw go through my class. Mm-hmm. And, I made so many careers. It's insane. I mean, people will come up to me. I'll be at friggin' the mall in Century City. They're like, Marki, oh my God, like if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be on Fox News or ESPN mm-hmm. or like, and I'm like, oh my God, like I was tough but hard, but I'm a great teacher. I'm great at media, and I'm great at forecasting. Media is a current that's constantly moving. And if you're not moving with it, like I said, look at Jake and Logan Paul. They started out on YouTube videos making crazy, and then Jake went to Disney, and then they did like the ultimate brother disc and disses, you know what I mean? And then Impulsion, and then boxing, and then WWE, and products, and Prime, and now Logan's had a baby and he's making healthy Lunchables. You've got to constantly be pivoting.
Okay, well, this next question, we'll see where this goes. Okay. We're talking with Marki in terms of like, the creative. You've done casting, you own your own business, and follow every reality show. What is your thought of just like the new next chapter for like a Bethenny Frankel? You loved her on the TV show Real Housewives of New York, and she's sort of changed in many ways. Has she changed for the good or the bad in terms of just where she's at career-wise? Because she is an entrepreneur as well.
I used to love Bethany, but I follow her on TikTok, and I'm going to be perfectly honest. Like, Davoon, oh, I'm eating this, you're welcome. Like, stop with all that, Bethany. Like, just like tell us what's hip or cool, or share some things. Like, but it's almost like I hate when she says you're welcome. It's like, well, I didn't say thank you because I don't give a fuck about this content. So quit acting like it's like earth shattering that you're putting on a blush that you got at Walgreens. And like, if it wasn't for you, we would never know about these Walgreens blushes. Like, meaning I just don't like that bravado, if you will. Like, I think she's cool on social media, but some things I think she should have just stuck with doing her podcast and interviewing people. I think she sort of jumped the mark, like by doing all of her TikToks and sort of like, does she even do her podcast anymore?
I'm sure she does. But sometimes it could get, outshined a little bit by like what you're talking about. So let's break down the why. Where did that happen? Because I loved the show, but it's funny when I go back to Peacock streaming to watch reruns, I almost don't want to watch those early seasons anymore. Like, it kind of takes it away. I found that I'll go back and watch Real Housewives of New York on Peacock streaming season like 5, 6, and 7. Like, like, not that I didn't love the early ones that she was there till 3, and I love the Bethenny Ever After and the Bethenny Getting Married. I thought those were so good. But there's just been such a change. Here's my thoughts. I'm thinking she sort of, even if it's subconscious or not, I'm thinking it's a time that she had to do what she had to do to succeed. And there is something to be said about like what deals do you get with it? Yeah, she became a billionaire, whatever the case, millionaire. Your silliest moments are stuck on Peacock streaming forever. Yes, you sign for the TV aspect of in perpetuity when you're doing the show, but did we ever think like you were always going to be available on Peacock streaming or like TikTok clips and stuff like that? So I feel like in some ways she's trying to like rewrite a new chapter of who she is on her own terms, but it is chaotic. And not everyone loves chaos. I know people do. it throws me off where I'm just like, God, we were rooting for you on the show.
I
And
you know what? One day I looked at some of her comments on her TikTok, and people were like, "Put it to bed, boomer," like stuff like "You're crazy, boomer." And I know she deletes all of that. Like she has a whole team that deletes every negative comment. But like, I just like you said, I think she's just all over the map. It's like, pick one thing, like she was doing the beauty branding stuff. And then when she didn't get into Chanel and she started that whole Chanel campaign, and it just became like all she wanted Chanel to do was send her a person, say, I'm sorry, but they didn't.
mhm.
And that just became like now she was hawking fakes because she was so upset with like not being let into the Chicago Chanel store. I think the younger generation is just like, what the fuck is she talking about? Like, I just think she's got to pick a lane a little bit. She's so all over the map. Now she's moving to Miami or moved to Miami. And then she's so
To
cryptic with
Florida, yeah.
like, we have to move to Florida. This is the best thing for us. But like, once again, so you're not going to let us in on the why, but
Mhm.
yet you want to just like shove chicken salad down our throat and tell us you're welcome. Like meaning,
So here's the goods. The goods are that she has a fortitude and a go-getterness, which is what made her who she was. But yeah, in my head, I almost wonder if it's a subconscious, and I'm not saying it to be funny, but I feel like she's trying to rewrite who we know her as. So it's like you will not like when it's all said and done, we won't like think of New York housewives for her. Kind of like, anyone with a career, you do a silly sitcom at the beginning, but
right,
you'd rather be known for your films. Leonardo DiCaprio is not known for Growing Pains, kind of a thing.
right,
And I think she's just taking it as a very odd way to do that. I think
right.
there is actually, I said subconscious, but I think there is actually a gameplay in hand. I really do. I just feel like, because what I don't understand, and maybe you could help me, because you love social media, specifically TikTok. I do not, as a consumer either. uh, what I don't understand is if you got all this, and I'm not saying this to be funny, like I said, deals or whatnot and opportunities, and what she always says, I could get 3 TV shows greenlit like in 40 seconds. Okay, give me one. But the point is, like, if you have all that, why are you fussing with jumping on the phone and going crazy and like yelling into space? Like I personally feel like if I was that well off, you wouldn't, Marky, I hate to tell you, you would never hear from me.
Right.
You mentioned Michelle Merkin earlier and how she,
Right.
her new, her different financial situation. Yeah, you would not, if randomly Ronnie came up on that situation, Marky would be like texting, like, "Where'd Ronnie go?" I'd be like, "I'm on a yacht. I don't know." Like, I'm not talking to, I'm not doing it. So why is she doing it? I'm not saying it like to be funny, but why is she doing it? Bethany Frankel.
To be
She
relevant,
was she
to
was
be
the
relevant,
greatest. She
be
was
relevant.
the
She wants to be relevant with this younger TikTok audience. Like I said, it's always about introducing yourself to a new audience, staying relevant with that new audience, pivoting with a purpose to that new audience. And I just think she's missing the mark. I like, because here's the problem. When she's lying in bed and she's like, well, here's why I want to talk about Kim and Kanye. Like when Kanye was like, going to sue Kim, it's like, okay, we know you went through a public divorce. I did too. And I had $100,000 in legal fees, and I understand how family law works, but I don't get on there and go, here's what Kim and like, you're not an expert, Bethany, on everything. We don't want to see you with your ponytail lying in bed talking about Kim and Kanye or talking about this one or that one. Like when she was like with Alex Earl and did Alex Earl's podcast, like I could tell like she's just holding on to trying to be the old Bethany and trying to like sustain in this younger market by her TikToks. But if they were more strategic and had like a purpose, I don't need to know every chicken salad from here to, the Hamptons, if it's good or not. I don't.
yeah.
I don't need to know about all of your makeup because it just looks like a hodgepodge. I don't remember anything. Or like, okay, your handbag university telling us good handbags versus bad handbags. I have an opinion. I have taste. I have my Louis Vuitton. I have my Goyard. I have my Chanel. I have Hermes. But I can also run into TJ Maxx and pick a nice one out too, Bethany. I don't need you for that. You're not an expert on chicken salad, purses, Chanel, cooking, like there's you pick a lane, pick one lane, and then we'll be engaged, enlightened, entertained, and educated by you.
But does it get challenging? So of a lot of the things that she did, she was the expert and did create it for herself. So I guess you have to have really good people around you, like friends and family and stuff like that, to kind of like, hey, maybe not the move, because you can't listen to just anybody, because who's to say their opinion is good for you. So again, if you had the expert skill set to create Be Strong, which did some really wonderful things, how do you turn that off? Do you get what I'm saying?
I think the mistake that Bethany doesn't have anybody that's her agent or manager. She doesn't have a big agency behind her, or a big management company saying, hey, we're not going to do this. Let's do more of this. I think she's the boss and manager and agent of her career. And sometimes it's hard to like switch hats and know, like, no, like when my kids are like, don't post that, mom. I'll be like, why? It's funny. I'm like, I'm posting it on my Marki, not my business one. And they're like, nope, don't post it. Like, and I don't, because I listen to them, because clearly they know, is my point. Like,
Yeah.
but I just don't think she's listening to anybody, because her ego and everything's gotten so big. She doesn't feel she knows everything. So why would she have an agent or a manager telling her what she shouldn't do? I
Well,
think she has
she
a lot of
told Heather.
yes
She told
people.
Heather she knew it all.
Exactly. Case in point. All right, Ronnie, I've got to jump. I love you.
Thank you. I can't believe the light fell while we were doing this.
I
I didn't
know.
have I didn't have a stand, so I was over here trying to
Holding
look.
my
I mean, I was thinking, Marky knows this world more than anybody, so she's gonna be mean to me, like, oh,
I would never be
he's
mean,
so.
Ronnie.
No,
No.
but I thought you were gonna say, oh, he's unprofessional. So honestly, like, I've been sweating the whole episode. How about that? And no cocaine issue to be had.
And no cocaine issue. Ronnie, well, I love you and I'm proud of you. You've been so consistent. You keep hustling. Just remember your audience. Constantly remember, what could I do with this person in my audience? I told this to my son Lucas the other day, because he does videos on food called Squirtworthy, and they're really funny and cheeky. And he's maybe gotten like 5,000 followers in like 4 months. And when a video does well, like, I'll be like, oh, I knew that was going to do well, Lucas, because no one knows about that place in LA and it's such a fun
Mm,
hot spot. And so I always remind him, if that video did well, then your audience wants more of that. So like, what's the
keep
other one?
feeding it. Yeah.
Keep feeding it. So listen to your audience. They're number one.
Yeah.
Hey, Ronnie Jr.